What's going on, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here, and today we have a stellar show lined up. I know I usually don't do evening shows, especially on Thursdays, but I had to line this one up, and I really want to share this story with you guys. So I'm here with a special guest, the Cookie Muncher team. We have Cassie and Brandon down there. What's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey guys, my name is Brandon.
I'm Cassie.
All right, and they are from the Kickin' with Cassie channel, but more importantly, they are the CEOs and the owners of Cookie Munchers. Is that the name of it?
Yep.
That's the name.
Okay, so you're in for an action-packed show. I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas, and I flip stuff that I find from estate sales, garage sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, other places like consignment stores, my antique booth, Craigslist. I'm one of the co-owners of the greenroomuniversity.com. Go check it out. Probably the third or fourth link down below it by now, because the first two links are my guest, all right, and their Instagram and their channel is down below. But let me introduce the Cookie Muncher team that is Cassie and Brandon. What is going on? How are y'all?
We're doing good.
Well, we're excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, of course. So the show's gonna be very interesting. It's a little different. It has some elements of reselling in it. Trust me, guys. So and you're still even involving reselling into your game right now, correct?
Yeah,
that is correct.
Okay, so we'll get into that. I'll start it off with Cassie or Brandon. Who got in touch with me first? I think it was Cassie, right?
Yep, that was me.
So it was a simple comment on one of my videos, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it was just an interesting picture, and I was like, I'll go check out the channel. And then I realized, like, oh, these people are building a business. Like, this is pretty interesting. So, and there's some reselling foundation in there as well. So I thought that this would be a really interesting thing. And it took me about maybe a month and a half before I started realizing, like, they're putting up, solid content. And I really want to, like, learn more about this cookie thing that they're doing. So, and I started watching one of your more recent videos, something where you're in a basement and you're doing some woodwork for like a cookie plaque or something, right? Brandon, help me out. What is this thing?
Okay, so we did a Kickstarter campaign as one of the many ways that we've raised money for the storefront. And one of the rewards for that was if you pledge $25 or more, you got your name on the plaque, aka the plaque that's going to be on the wall in the storefront. So that was my brother actually helping design that plaque.
Okay, and the basement of Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, the basement was in his apartment in New York.
Yeah, so y'all do like vlog style videos. It reminded me a lot of Casey Neistat type stuff, like the songs in the background and everything. It was very cool. And you guys are from Jersey, right?
Yes,
that's us.
All right, so so the Thrift Journey. Let's talk about that a little bit. I don't know if it was Cassie or Brandon. I know it's for sure Cassie, but the Thrift Journey in college, Cassie, was that mostly you when you were like reselling things back and forth in college?
Yes. So I dabbled with it in college because I didn't want to get a normal typical job. I wanted to do something more entrepreneurial. So I decided to start reselling things that I found at yard sales, and I dabbled in it for a whole summer. And then I took a break on it for a while, and now it just came up again more recently.
Yeah.
Cool. So how old are you, Brandon, and how old are you, Cassie?
I'm 23.
23.
23. Both y'all 23. Dabbled back in college, and then now are dabbling back into it again for a very particular reason, which we'll get into later, right?
Yes.
Yep. There's a real reason why you guys are reselling like right now. So after college, I don't know if both y'all, but both y'all, did you guys live in a car? Did you guys like, what's the story behind the whole thing about living, maybe it's not so much in an apartment or a house, but in a car?
Yeah, well, when we first went to launch Cookie Munchers, we didn't have anywhere to live yet, and we wanted to save the money on the rent. We figured that money could be better used for the actual business itself. But we had a car. It held most of our supplies for the business in the trunk, and we slept up front.
We basically had the entire car full of stuff. And then on top of that, we also need to use the car to pick up ingredients, which a lot of our customers saw in some of our videos. We basically had to jam pack the entire thing, everything.
Okay. So this was a car or a SUV or a van?
It was a Toyota RAV4, so an SUV. And we basically had to stay in there for a little bit. Just as we were saving money, we wanted to find a place that would be cheap enough that we could afford, while we were also trying to use all the money we had and all the resources we had to starting Cookie Munchers.
It was a good couple of weeks before we were able to find somewhere that we deemed cheap enough to warrant us moving into.
Okay, so you guys lived in a car for not like a whole long time, but like weeks, months?
Closer to a month. Yeah.
Closer to a month, living in like you slept in the front of the car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We would get out of Cookie Munchers around 3:30, 4 a.m. and we'd walk to the parking lot and be like, okay, here's where we're at for tonight.
Yeah. Basically wake up in the morning and then hop right back inside, get back to work.
Cool. So they're painting a picture, and we're going to get more into that picture here in a second, because now you start to realize where the car is parked and like where they're going back and forth out of. You'll see that in a second. So in college, when you started thrifting, what particularly would you buy and resell, Cassie?
All right. So when I first started, it was basically just furniture, all the big items, purely because I could get a better value from them at yard sales. I was getting tables for like $5 and I was reselling them for probably a little under 100 around there. So it was just quick flips. It was easy. And I didn't really understand eBay at the time. So I was purely Craigslist.
Wow, lots of Craigslist. Anything outside of like furniture or anything like that? Did you kind of dabble? Like naturally, when someone hustles something like furniture and they do it successfully, they start thinking like, what else can I do successfully that I can find at yard sales, right? Did that kind of cross your mind? And did you ever come out of furniture as a hustle?
I did. I did go into tools a lot, and I definitely went into like games. Those weren't very successful for me, but I did go into like Xbox games, things along those lines too.
Okay, cool. And let me go into the feed real quick. We got about 34 people watching right now. Guys, hit the like button, please. And if you do like cookies, what is your favorite cookie out there? Because we're going to be talking to the Cookie Munchers themselves, and then we're going to figure out what the best cookie is, the #1 seller. But don't tell me. Let's see if the people can guess it in the feed.
Okay.
Is it, okay, let me ask you this. Like, give me a hint. Is the #1 selling cookie something that you can find in every store?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good hint. All right, so guess what cookie that is for the cookie munching team. So here's a statement real quick, and I'll brand it to like start it off with this one. But entrepreneurs just know that they're entrepreneurs. Do you disagree, or do you agree with this statement, and why?
I do not agree. I mean, I think some entrepreneurs do know that from the start, but me personally, when I first went to college, I was a physics major to start, and then I switched to a double major in public relations and advertising. And up until my senior year in college, my plan has always been go to college, come out and get a good job, and then just work. And that was really all I had thought of. Then I met Cassie, and she introduced me more to entrepreneurship. Thank you. And it's something I've fallen in love with. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he first met me, he saw what I was working on. I was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what is this business things you've been working on? And originally I didn't really talk to him much about it, but the more he persisted, the more I started to tell him, and he just really got into it too.
Yeah,
Was that business back then the cookie thing? Yes or no, Cassie?
No, that was more of the reselling, and also I was ordering some stuff from China.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So you kind of say it like with a smirk, but like, what is the stuff that you were ordering from China, and were you selling it, or just somehow doing drop shipping, or what was it?
I was ordering from China. So what I do is I ordered a few laser pointers, and they sold incredibly well. I was buying them for very little and selling them for a good profit. But then I ordered. So I sold probably the first 100 of them, made a huge profit, decided to order like 1,000 of them, ordered them, and they got stopped at customs. Apparently they weren't really allowed. And they sent me a letter in the mail saying you need to cease ordering these laser pointers and we are destroying them and you will not get them, and neither will the people back in China. And so I stopped doing the laser pointer thing, but while I was doing it, I made really good amount of money doing it.
You did the pack and strap thing too. Was that something that you did locally?
Yeah, and then I started another business, basically designing a handbag that also did pretty well, but I just wasn't passionate about fashion, so I didn't keep going with that one.
But you're trying different things, and I find that kind of like the same story with other entrepreneurs. They try a bunch of things, and then something sticks, and you kind of go with it, right? Mm-hmm. So Cassie, we'll go with this statement. Do you agree or disagree with entrepreneurs just kind of know that they're entrepreneurs?
I have always definitely been more of an entrepreneur. I didn't even
I think you guys just cut out. Can you hear me? All right. So I don't know if this is translating to the feed or not. Let me know. Let me make sure that they come back on. I will send them a message real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, so hopefully they'll come back out. I know they're gone. I know my internet's really fast, but we will see. I got great questions lined up. I really want to ask them the rest of these questions, so hopefully they can exit out and come back in. Brandon looks like he has come back on.
Yep, we're back. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how.
Okay, no, it's all cool. It's cool. So I have a good amount of Bonafide Hustler peeps that are like letting me know what's up. All right, so Hip Hop Chris, they cut out, blah 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 blah. But we're back. We're back. So that's good. You guys good now? Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Okay, let me just tell you that the guesses that people were guessing with this cookie right here. Everyone, there wasn't a single different guess than this one cookie, chocolate chip. Is that the best seller?
Yeah.
It's Red Velvet's creeping up. They're probably almost line in line at this point, but yeah, there definitely are two biggest selling cookies.
It's a classic,
and they're both my two favorite.
Wow, unbelievable! What's a dozen of Red Velvet and chocolate? What's a dozen cookies cost?
Oh, okay. Well, we don't even sell them by the dozen.
Right. Keep in mind, our cookies are as big as your face. We're known for having massive cookies that when people get them, they're like, I couldn't even finish one. Like
one of my favorite things is when people open the box and they're like, oh my God, because they don't expect it to be so big. So we sell them actually by the individual cookie. Each cookie, again, this big is $1.79.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. For now, we'll see how if the cost inflate.
I was like thinking you guys were going to say $5. Like I would pay $5 for a cookie.
Well, once the storefront comes around, it's probably gonna have to go up a little bit to keep up with the new additional costs.
Definitely not to $5 though.
Yeah, definitely not the $5 though. We're still gonna keep it because our main audience is still college students, so we have to keep it.
Right. Well, I do live in Austin, Texas, and sweets are vastly overpriced here, but we don't even care. Like everyone just wants them. So. Nice slogan. So cookies as big as your face. Is that a slogan of yours or?
No.
The first night, we had our first vlog from the first night. We had a guy there from a very important newspaper in our area, and it was only me and Brandon. And there was no employees, there was nothing, and we got swamped with orders. And we were recording on our vlog, and I show him the cookie and he's like, Cassie, how big is it? I put it in my face. I'm like, it's as big as my face. And then ever since then, everyone kind of knows it as they're as big as your face.
The actual slogan though, the tagline for the company is Smile Big, because we still want to emphasize that the main thing we're known for is our big cookies. And we want to evoke the emotion of happiness and smiling. So smile big.
Okay, cool. And you do have you kind of have your mascot or some sticker there with you, right?
Yeah.
We do.
His name is
company's logo. Is this your logo?
This is our mascot. He is in our logo. His name is Munch because we're Cookie Munchers. And he is plastered everywhere in our town. When we go to the town and the college, we see them all over telephone poles, all over laptops,
Yeah, there
phones.
was one time we were filming a promotional video for the Kickstarter coming up, and some guy, some student rose up to us on a skateboard, and he's like, oh my God, Brandon and Cassie, I love you guys. He lifts up his skateboard. He's got 4 or 5 Munch stickers on the bottom of it.
Oh, cool. That's
really
neat.
cool. Yeah.
So that's cool. We have a comment from here, Kristen St. Ange saying, hey, Bonafide, their cookies should be a prize for the 2018 meetup. So this is interesting. Do you guys ship your cookies, or do you think that's going to be part of the whole thing when you guys have Storefront? You cut out a little bit again. Okay, go ahead. Do you think, so like when you have the Storefront, are you going to be shipping cookies off to people around the USA?
Probably not. I mean, we'll see how things go. We're taking it one step at a time. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. We don't want to promise something we can't deliver on, no pun intended. But it's something we've thought about for sure. We'll see what happens.
We definitely hope to. But first we got to get the Storefront under control and get that off the ground, and then we'll look into expanding.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So one day you decided to start making cookies, but needed some kitchen space. So how did you get this accomplished?
So that was me. I called every restaurant. I basically made a list of every restaurant that could possibly be in the area. I called every single one of them, and I got no's from everyone. There was not one person who wanted to help us. Some people were saying, you're a liability. We're afraid you're going to steal from us. You know, you guys are just kids, and, you know, we can't, you know, we're not going to be a part of this. Until I finally found the Bagel Shop owner who, when I gave him a call, he originally was a little hesitant, but then he's also young. He's also a young entrepreneur, and he understood. He undersaw the vision for our dream.
He believed in us. He
believed in us, and he agreed to let us use the Bagel Shop.
Okay, so you recently left this place too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We decided to leave just during the interchange between the end of last semester and opening for the storefront. We took that time off. Plus, all the students, our main audience, went home. So,
okay, so let's just talk about this kitchen space real quick. Like, describe it like there's a bagel shop. I'm kind of envisioning a bagel shop. It's probably a strip center bagel shop. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, so you walk in and there's clearly, glass things with bagels, and then I've seen bagel shops before, and they need a lot of space, right? They need a lot of space to lay these things out and to bake the bagels, to make the bagels, and there's so many different kinds of bagels, right? So it's quite an operation. So how big of a bagel shop did you guys get? And it was more of like did you pay them a little bit, or they just kind of did it out of the goodness of their heart?
We paid part of the utilities and plus a little bit extra for letting us use the space. The bagel shop itself was very big, but we were only allotted a corner of the bagel shop, like a corner where we could stack everything to the ceiling. About
3 feet by 3 feet. Obviously during the operations and when we were, when we were there and working, and they were during the off hours, we could spread out. But every single night we had to pack everything back up, and it was like playing Tetris every night.
Yeah, things would fall down on our heads. I wasn't even tall enough to stack things in the corner that we were allotted. And
yeah, we had the one corner, and then we had the bottom shelf and the fridge for all of our fridge stuff.
It was basically like every night you were putting everything you had into a closet and then taking it back out the next day and starting all over again. And our fridge space wasn't big enough for as much as we sold. So there's actually one of our vlogs on our channel. We actually had to go out and we found a fridge on Craigslist, and we went and we barely fit it in my car. We brought it back home, and we had to store half of our stuff in our fridge at home, half the stuff at the place, and then every day we'd grab ingredients, bring them to the store, bring them back.
Yeah, that was one actually the main limiting factors in our operation. Is we kind of plateaued because we couldn't continue expanding because we didn't have the space to keep up with the demand. So that's when we realized we got to start thinking elsewhere.
Okay, so you had a good problem on your hand, right?
Yeah, no, good problem for sure.
So that means like you were selling out of cookies every single day, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. And milks too. We also sell milks. They were all
white and chocolate,
and they were flying.
Wow, cool. Well, so why cookies as opposed to any other food out there? Like, could have done pizza, could have done hamburgers, could have done all kinds of stuff. Like, why cookies out of all the whole things that college students especially would have been eating?
So number one, it was just fun. Cookies is probably the most fun of anything I could think to start. So that was our first. Yeah,
it's a light topic, something that we know we could do a lot of stuff with marketing wise, and would be easy to market to a college audience.
And we went to school there. We understood that there was not very many options for late night desserts. There was literally nothing. The only thing they had was whatever Domino's has for dessert. And that was it. So as a college student there, whenever you wanted something, you were making it yourself. And if you didn't have an oven, there was really nothing you could do. So we decided that this would be something fun. And we already were good at baking because of my grandma and my mom. So it seemed like a easy option.
Was the bagel shop close to college?
Yeah, it was about a 5-minute drive off campus.
Okay, so enough to where people would line up and get cookies kind of thing, or where would they buy the cookies from?
Okay, so that's the thing. We couldn't use the actual storefront location for pickup or anything like that. It was only delivery and only on our website online.
Which a lot of people are like, we don't know where these cookies come from. We don't really understand it, but it's awesome. We did try to expand to a phone number one night, and our phone went off the hook. It could not handle it. The system we were using Google Voice, and we missed so many phone calls.
So we got to hold off on that for a little bit.
So it sounds like a good problem to have, man. So let me ask you about this. So did you ever want to give up when you were searching for the kitchen space in the first place? And I mean, how many places did you you said you were visiting restaurants and stuff like that. Like, how many did you have to go and get turned down by before you landed the bagel shop?
At least 45 no's. It was a lot. And I originally was just emailing them, and when that didn't work, I tried calling. When that didn't work, I tried actually visiting them. nothing worked.
So why the Bagel Shop? Like, what was it about the Bagel Shop? They were just like, they see a vision within you of maybe what they were back in the day.
I think it was mainly the owner. His name is Ryan. Bagel Shop is Rise Bagels, and he was young. You know, he's like, I think he's 27, 28.
And he's very much a visionary. So when we told him the problem, he was also a college student at the same place we were in college. So he was like, that was an issue for me as well. He wasn't able to get dessert, and he's like, I really think you guys could be successful here, and you know, I believe in you.
Yeah. Plus, being in a bagel shop, his hours kind of fit in perfectly with ours. We were just doing a late night cookie. So we would usually come in as they were leaving, and when we were packing up and leaving at like 3:30 from 1 in the morning is usually when they were first coming to the setup.
I bet you he was thinking like, you know what, like it's also like a security system for my bagel shop.
Yeah,
it's true.
You know, always
like, yeah, like I would be thinking that. I'd be like, all right, you know, like it's much better than what is anyone going to steal from a bagel shop anyway, though? But still, you know what I'm saying, like
all the dough, obviously.
So I like that. I like how I didn't know it was gonna be 45. That's unbelievable. Guys in the feed, let me know if you're liking the show. Guys and gals in the feed, if you're liking the show, hit the like button. If you have a question for the Cookie Muncher team, for either Cassie and or Brandon or both, let me know. I will read it out live right now. So, you had it for the hours of, so what, the bagel shop closed at like what, 5-ish? 6?
Yeah, so we couldn't get there until about 4:30 in the afternoon. They closed at I think 4 o'clock or so. So we'd usually get there about 4:30, and we were open from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m.
7 to 3, man.
When we got there, though, we were overlapping with them most days. So they were working on bagels, and we had to kind of set up this. They gave us a folding table, which we could set up in the corner and start working while they were using the main tables.
They'd be prepping for the next day.
Then once they finished with the main tables, we were allowed to move from the folding table to the main tables and spread out a little more once they left.
Cool. So after this is I want to jump ahead so bad because like now I'm like my mind's kind of racing, you know. Let me get to this one question real quick. Have you had any issues? This is from Mr. Sadie 123. Have you had any issues with your license, food safety, or FDA?
So it did push us off for a long time, purely because they'd never had any other business do something like this. It wasn't, you know, a normal thing.
Okay, I think they might have. Are you guys still there? It kind of cut out again a little bit. I would advise I don't know if this is happening on my end, guys. Let me know in the feed. But if it's happening again, let me message them. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so I think their internet is having some issues, but hopefully we can get them back again because it's still got a lot of this outline to go, and I really want to ask them these questions. So the question that we are on right now is essentially back then, like how would you advertise your cookie presence and all that kind of stuff. So when they get back, hopefully we can start asking that question. I think it's a really, really good interview, and we have some fun talk at the very end too, because they are definitely some lifestyle type vloggers as well. And I want to kind of know about this Kickstarter campaign thing. So hopefully they come back in and we can get to that part. Let me message them for 1 second. Stick around for 1 second. Okay, back again?
Back. Yes.
Yeah,
we're back again. No, it's okay. You know, there are issues out there. It's just what happens. People have amazing internet. Just things just happen, man. So hopefully we can still continue on the show. So the question was, and we have 43 people watching right now. What was your cookie presence back in the day when you had the bagel shop? Was it word of mouth? Like, what was it? Or did you advertise a little bit?
Word of mouth, and then our first weekend was nothing but flyers. We printed them out from Staples, and we went to all the dorms and just slipped them into people's doors, taped them on the walls, everything.
It was mostly flyers. Basically, everyone who ordered was really through a flyer. We went around, and we weren't really allowed to, but we pasted them all over campus.
Then after that, we stepped up our social media game, and the vlog helped with that a lot as well. The YouTube videos, that kind of got the word out.
Cool. It's a really good question from Mellow55 Moss. Why not use a food truck van? I'm sure this has crossed your mind.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's actually originally what we wanted to use. But our town has a regulation where you're not allowed to operate from a food truck unless it's at a special event. So you can't just be a food truck parked there every day. It's just a rule in the town.
Yeah. If we were in the next town over, it would have been fine. But the school that we were going to said no.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, that's just one thing you have to circumvent. So that's pretty cool. How long did it take you guys until you decided the storefront was needed? Like, okay, so you get into the bagel shop, start doing your operation out of there. Like, how many months passed by until you're like, all right, that's it. Now we need to get a storefront?
We started thinking about it probably about 6-7 months in.
Yeah.
So you did the bagel shop thing for 6 or 7 months?
We did it for 8.
We did it for 8. Yeah, once we
8
hit like
months,
6.5
saving money, or just did you save money? I mean, with cookies at $1 something, I mean, there must have been a pretty decent amount of money rolling in, right?
Yeah, you know, we had some good money coming in. We were definitely happy from our first week to by the end of the 8th month, we had more than tripled our sales compared to what we were doing. So we were consistently growing.
Okay. Was there a catalyst that helped you get to the storefront thing? Like, I think there's the, okay, so the Kickstarter thing, it was definitely something that you did while you were at the bagel shop, or no?
Yeah, we did that while we were still working out of the back of the bagel shop.
And Kickstarter, for anyone out there, is kind of a way to fundraise, right? A project?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we basically told all our customers that we wanted a storefront. At the time, we did have money saved up, but not quite enough because the oven at the time was $10,000, which was just something that we couldn't afford.
One oven is 10 grand.
One oven is 10 grand.
How many cookies can you put in an oven, Cassie?
It was a 20 rack oven. We fit 6 cookies on each rack. So.
Oh, it's a 20 rack oven, dude. This thing's huge.
This is big. Oh yeah, you could fit like 4 or 5 people in it. Not that you should, but.
Wow. So okay, you can get, there's 20 racks, and how many in each rack? 6.
6 cookies on each rack. Yeah.
So you can really have a business going with a $10,000 oven, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the oven we have to get is going to cost $17,000. The $10,000 oven was the gas oven. But because of the location we're going to be moving into, they didn't have the venting to allow for a gas oven, so we had to switch to an electric convection oven, which is
$17,000.
Wow! Oh my gosh! So the Kickstarter helped you get some money, right?
Yeah, we raised a little bit over 11,000 by like 150 something people, I think.
Yeah, there were people we didn't even know who pledged a lot of money toward that. It was very surprising. We had all our customers, but there was one time that we had $1,000 pledge come in, and we're like, who is that from? And we finally found out who it was from. I messaged her. I'm like, so why did you give us $1,000? She's like, I'm like, you're not even in our area. She wasn't even in our state. And she's like, I just loved your story. And that was it.
Oh, cool. So that's interesting that part of that oven or part of that storefront is literally like that person's contribution. Like a little piece.
Exactly what it is.
One rack of the oven, right, is that person.
Yeah, and that goes back to that plaque that we mentioned in the beginning. People who pledge $25 or more, they're getting the name on that plaque, and that's going to be up on the wall in the storefront because we want to let them know that we appreciate what they did for us.
Wow, unbelievable, man! This thing has Shark Tank written all over. I swear. So let's talk about the demand was so good during the bagel shop days, you couldn't make enough. So you had to turn people away. Was that kind of hard to do, or you just, is there a part of your website you just shut down? Like, this is it, we're done for the night? Like, how did that work?
Yeah. Well, it was a WordPress website. We used WooCommerce for the transactions, and whenever a cookie sold out for the night, we just had to put it out of stock. And there were some nights where you'd go on to order, and there'd be like 1, maybe 2 cookies or 2 items left on the menu, and we're like, sorry, that's all we got left.
There was one item one day we sold out completely.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's not worth making any more cookies at this time because they're so big. It takes 45 minutes to make 1 cookie. Wow. So yeah, it was pretty nuts.
This is unbelievable, man. So Where in your town are you building the storefront now? The storefront's going in a very particular part of the town. You said that this other place, the Bagel Shop, was 5 minutes away from the college campus. Now this storefront is where?
Yeah, well, we haven't officially announced it yet. We're still holding off on that for like another week or two. Maybe we'll make that official announcement, but it's going to be closer to campus than we were before. And that's, I think, all we want to say for now.
I'll say that.
Okay. Within like hungry student
It's within
distance?
walking distance,
Within,
yes.
Within very easy walking distance of campus.
Okay, cool. That's going to be amazing. Like now, some students don't have cars and they're like, hey man, can you take me here? Like, why? It's not like, oh, I need to pick up some prescriptions. It's like, because I want to get a cookie. They're like, no way, I'm not going to do that, So like now you can just, I'm going to go get a cookie and just go there, right? This next place, right? Okay, so let me ask you this. What does the cookie demographic kind of look like? Like what's the, if you asked me my demographic, I'd be like, okay, it's 25-year-old to like 55-year-old males, 80% males, 20% females. Like what does a cookie demo look like?
Well, our main audience is still the college students, especially that was limiting based on our times. We operated 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. Once we were open for a month or two, word started to get out and families in the neighboring town and a few times over started ordering from us as well. Definitely the bulk is the college student. I'd say pretty even split between male and female.
Yeah, we still get a lot of families, but we haven't marketed to them at all. It's been purely word of mouth, and they love us, and their kids love us.
We did the ad in the playbill. We sponsored a play in the high school, the local high school, so some families found out about us that way too.
Wow, you're doing all kinds of ways to like get the word out. I mean, like flyers and like crazy stuff, and you even have this like mascot. Tell us about this mascot.
Yeah, so Mascot, his name is Munch, sticker here. And when we first introduced him, he started to play, he made a mascot costume and woke me up one morning by funkies at me and blowing an air horn in my face and then dancing in this costume. And since we've actually made that mascot costume, we came out with another one. His name is Cookie, the crazy Cookie. And Munch often likes to chase Cookie around campus and cause all types of chaos.
Wow. So you actually have an actual cookie chase going on in campus.
Yeah, that's actually to announce the Kickstarter campaign, we had 7 days worth of videos, short little videos where it would be Munch chasing Cookie in different places, and each day got progressively closer to campus until the 7th day when we announced the launch of the Kickstarter. We actually had Munch chase Cookie through campus and cause all the chaos.
Oh, that's cool, man. It sounds awesome. So your ideal customer clearly is a student at this point, right? Is that the ideal? Okay. And is there any way you can incorporate that into Cookie Munchers? Like, do you have flyers in local like student newspapers? Do you have coupons to tell students? You said like there's no place to go, right? For dessert, like this is it pretty much. Is it still this, or is there like a cupcake place like nearby now and things that are blossoming up, like frozen yogurt places?
Cupcake place a couple blocks off of campus, but
they're only open in the morning.
Yeah, and they also don't deliver. So the main thing that we beat everyone on is our delivery.
So who's delivering? Like, it's one of you. So someone orders this stuff in your town. It's one of you two who's just gonna bring it to them, right?
Well, initially, the first night it was me making all the deliveries when it was just me and her.
I was the only one in the kitchen the first night. He was the only one delivering.
Yeah. And then for the first probably 2-3 months or so, I did a good amount of deliveries. But then we hired employees. By the end, we had 8 employees and 3 social media marketing interns. And then at that point, the employees did basically all the deliveries.
Wow. And do people tip on cookie delivery?
Yeah, they do. And it's great because since we deliver a lot to campus dorms, we could have 2, 3, 4 deliveries in the same bag, being taken up by the same driver, and he'd have to go to one building. He'd sit there, make a call, they'd come out, here it is, make another call, and they come out, and you get 4 tips for what was essentially 1 delivery.
That's cool. So cookie tips are not like they're like standard tips, are better because they're so happy that they're getting something?
I would say better for sure.
Yeah, and they're good.
Wow. So no one would just order 1 cookie, right? Like people are ordering many.
Right. Well, we actually had a minimum order of $7 on the website, which equated to 4 cookies or 2 cookies and 2 milks, basically 4 items. Now that we have the storefront coming soon, obviously you can walk in and buy just 1, but to make it worth it for us for the delivery costs and to pay the drivers, we made it $7 minimum.
Is that store going to be open all day, or are you going to keep it kind of exclusive because this is how it started, this is the way it's going to always be?
So with the lease, this is a paperwork thing. We have to operate more hours than that, and more days than
Which
we were
is fine
operating.
because we wanted to anyway.
Yeah, we wanted to anyway, and that's just part of the paperwork that we had to sign off on. So we're going to be open. We're thinking from noon till 3 a.m. and then we're going to adjust based on the demand and what we see customers want.
Although weekdays like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll probably close around midnight or so, and then Thursday through to Sunday we'll be open till 3 again.
Okay. Do you find yourself always eating cookies because you're around cookies?
Yeah. I mean, I can't get enough of them.
But y'all are not like, y'all are totally in shape kind of people. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I was interviewing a pizza person yesterday, and he was like, I get pizza like, you know, once a month when I'm at the stores because they're my stores. Like, so for you guys, like, you're around these cookies all the time. Like,
well, we try to limit ourselves a little bit. You know, I'll take a bite and then put it down. And but again, you can finish one of our cookies, and it's like the equivalent to like 6 regular cookies.
holy moly.
So we try to limit it there, but usually every night we have a bite or two.
Wow. All right, so in the feed, we got a bunch of people like loving this show. More questions, let me know what you guys got. I see all your names in here. I see Mike Raleigh, Adam A517, Persian Profit Bandit, a bunch of stuff, AZ Mick, Mr. Sad. If you got questions right now, let's dish it out to the Cookie Muncher team right here. I have a feeling that we're going to be re-interviewing them maybe in about 3 or 4 months, and after that store opens, which is, I think, October, right, Brandon?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking now. Probably mid to late October, depending on how long construction takes.
God, an actual storefront. This is amazing. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it didn't start out like this either. We had no intentions of it getting this big, and then all of a sudden just blew up, and we're like, well, let's just take it to the next level.
Yeah, I was absolutely take it to the next level. Just like, who wouldn't take it to the next level? That's awesome. So what's stopping you from like one day going, okay, like, I think the natural thought progression would be like, all right, this thing's doing well. It's close to a college campus. Now we got to find towns that don't have bans on food trucks late night, and buy college camp, like be by a college campus, get a food truck, something mobile that you can bring from a campus to a campus. Am I thinking wrong, or is that kind of like what you guys are kind of thinking too?
No,
this thing takes off?
Not at all. That's definitely something we've thought about, either whether it be a franchise or we expand with a food truck. Again, we're going to play it safe for now and see what we can and will do with this one location. But food truck is 100% in the thoughts.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't strike me as like, does it take a lot to master a cookie business? Like,
you'd be surprised. It's funny. We had employees who would be like, "Oh, you guys don't only open 8 hours a night and 5 days a week. You must have so much free time." And we're like, "Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, if only." So it's a lot, but every day that we made a mistake, we learned from that mistake, and the next day didn't let it happen again. So now that we've been doing this for 8 months, we're gonna have so much more experience going into the storefront. That being said, the storefront's going to have so many more issues that we don't even know of yet. So we'll take it as it comes.
Cool. Are you at the stage now where you go get the ingredients somewhere, like at a mass ingredient kind of place, or do you have the ingredients delivered to you every day?
Yeah. So far, we've been just going and driving to it's a store called Restaurant Depot, where we get all the supplies in bulk. Although now at the storefront, we're hoping to have them delivered.
Okay.
We're hoping to partner with another restaurant to have them delivered. You have to be ordering a lot to have them delivered. But up to this point, Brandon's been going to Restaurant Depot because they're 100-pound bags, and that's how much I weigh. So I can't go.
Cool. And still rocking the RAV4, right?
Still rocking the RAV4.
Man, all the way to the end, man.
Yeah, so it's her Toyota RAV4, and I've been driving a Nissan Sentra, but I will soon be upgrading to a 2004 minivan.
He didn't like it.
I wasn't the biggest fan, but you know what? You do what you got to do. The space is I need it.
He's like, now I'm the guy with the cookie business in a minivan. I'm like,
no kids yet, even. And I
you got to wrap that thing. Are you gonna wrap it with like the logos and everything?
I mean,
maybe. That'd be a good idea.
I totally would, honestly. Like, I totally.
We hadn't thought about it, but we'll give it some thought now.
Yeah. I mean, what's in, $2,000, get a super sick wrap with that dude on there, like whatever the guy's name is, the monster guy. Munch. Okay, cool. Yeah. Just sounds awesome. Here's a question from Persian Profit Bandit saying, do you have a CPA handle your taxes? Because a lot of this explosion happened in the past year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So do you have a CPA handling this stuff right now for you?
So that's actually my mom. She was an accountant for a very long time. And when we started Cookie Munchers, she got very excited to jump on and help out. So she has become our official accountant, and she told us we're getting too big for her, but hopefully she stays on board.
Yeah, the bigger we get, the more scared she gets, because it's getting to be a lot.
Wow, this is awesome. It's so cool though. So in the transition phase right now, there's a transition phase. You're not at this storefront, and you're out of the bagel shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the bagel shop, they didn't like kick you out. They just, their lease ran up, or what happened to the bagel shop?
They gave us the option to stay there if we wanted to, but most of our customers are still the students, and they went home for the summer.
Okay.
So and also I think 7 of our 8 employees were also students. And like the last week of the semester, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be gone in 2 weeks." And we're like, "Oh shoot, that's right. You guys are done." So,
so you guys are done for a couple months.
Yeah. We've been off for about a month and a half now, 2 months.
We've been focusing on raising money for the new storefront by reselling.
By reselling. So
jobs, whatever.
Yeah, so the storefront's going to cost an extra X, how much? Like 10K or something like that? There's some sort of 10K involved here, right? What is that for?
Well, the 10K was the initial cost of the oven we thought we were going to be getting. Now the oven we have to get is 17,000, not 10,000, because of the venting issue at the new location. But the actual lease that we're signing is a 3-year contract for, what's it, like $250,000? I think it is 250,000.
Something around that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big scary number, but we think we can handle it.
And then the equipment, we're going to try to buy most of it used to save on costs. A lot of it is restaurants who go on Craigslist, and they are getting rid of all their old equipment because they went out of business, and we're going to use that to our advantage and try to save as much as we can for equipment.
Cool. So now the reselling kind of plays a role into this whole thing. Is that what you're really actively doing this summer? Are you trying to like hammer hard on reselling? Sorry, I think you guys cut out. Go ahead. Let me ask you the question. Ask a question again. Are you guys going to hammer down on reselling, or how long have you been? You recently revisited it, right, Cassie?
Yes, we've been doing it now for what, like 2 months?
Yeah, basically since we stopped.
Yeah, since we stopped, we've been doing it, and it's been going great. We've been just constantly watching more and more reselling videos, getting better at it by the day. Yeah. And
she already knew a good amount about it. This is my first introduction to it. It's actually one of the things that led me to your channel, was researching how to do it more, keeping up with her.
And now we're also looking into importing from China more, which is the thing I did with the laser pointers, but it scared me away for a bit.
Yeah, so we're going to try ordering some things in bulk, rebranding, and then reselling them on Amazon. Okay.
So, okay, you're going to do some wholesaling on Amazon from stuff. Okay, interesting. That takes a lot of time. I mean, you've done some research, but you kind of know the process of what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. You're just now researching the markets of Amazon and seeing whether you can get this thing for cheap. Interesting. So do you love reselling at heart, Cassie?
I personally do. I find it to be so much fun, and honestly just really satisfying to be able to buy something and resell it for more money. I have a lot of fun going to garage sales. I look forward to it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, my first time dabbling in it, I was a little skeptical. I always thought garage sales was usually selling for profit.
Still there?
I can still hear you. Go ahead. So you were saying something about garage sales, Brandon? You said.
Yeah. Well, my first time going to a garage sale, I'm buying something for cheap and reselling it and making a profit on it. Kind of changed my mind on the whole concept of it. So that's really turned me on to it a lot. Now I've gotten into it.
Yeah, you can make very good money just doing garage sales and thrift stores, just so you know. But I don't know how it is in New Jersey, but I can imagine it's not bad right now, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, especially not in the summer. There's tons of them every weekend.
Okay. Do you guys use that yard sale treasure map thing? You guys know about it?
Ours is like, I don't know what the website I usually go on, but it just lists a bunch of yard sales. If that's the one, that's the one I'm on.
Cool.
I don't know if it's
you should check out the app, Yard Sale Treasure Map, the app. I think you would really enjoy it.
Cool.
You'll get a bird's eye view of where everything is and everything.
Oh,
you'll be able to you'll be able to score and make more money easy.
Oh yeah, no, we'll check that out.
So let's talk about now the fun part of the talk. Kind of put the cookie business thing talk to the side. But you guys like traveling. Why do you guys like traveling so much?
Honestly, it encourages you to take risks. It opens your mind to what else is out there. It's nothing is more exciting than not knowing what's going to happen or where you're going to go or what you're going to see the next day. It just changes your life.
So our first time traveling was actually moving to Australia for a while.
Yeah, we started abroad for a semester.
And we backpacked and we took a lot of risks. We rented a van where I had to sign off. I knew how to drive on the wrong side of the road with a stick shift. Didn't know how to do any of that.
It was both of our first times driving stick shift, and we had to convince the guy that yes, we knew how to drive stick shift, and then
stalling out of the parking lot.
Jeez.
So we've definitely taken a lot of risks through traveling.
Yeah. We backpacked in the past 2.5 years. We backpacked 9 countries, and it was the initial inspiration for getting into what we're doing now.
Okay, so that was right after college, right before doing the cookie thing?
No, actually. So we studied abroad in Australia our junior year in college, and then before coming home from Australia, we backpacked in New Zealand for about a month, and then
also living in our car.
Yeah, also living in the car the whole time. So we're pretty good at that. And then the following summer, we kind of talked, and we were like, we've seen more of Australia and New Zealand than we have of our own country. Let's do a US road trip. So we spent 2 months driving from New Jersey to California and back again. And then after that, we got into this crazy competition with Red Bull. Go ahead.
Basically, we had to backpack across all of Europe. We had to hit 6 checkpoints in around 7 days with no phone and no money. Red Bull takes away your phone, they take away your money, and they say basically, meet us in Paris, good luck. And then you're just standing there like, okay.
This is Red Bull energy drink, the actual energy drink. Red Bull, you somehow got on some competition thing with them, right?
Yeah, so there's a whole playlist for it actually on the channel where we take you through day by day, because they take away our personal cell phones, but they give us an event phone that we had to film and photograph with and upload stuff to the team page on the Red Bull website. But it was all one-way communication, so we couldn't use it to get help or anything.
Per se, weren't allowed to help you.
So yeah, we had 7 days to get from Berlin to Paris, but in those 7 days, we had to hit at least 6 checkpoints. There were 45 checkpoints all throughout Europe to choose from, and we hit 6 countries, I believe. The first night, we slept under a bridge in Dresden, Germany, and by night 4, we traded 24 cans of Red Bull for a night in a 5-star hotel. So that's what they gave us as currency. So they take away our phone and our money, but they gave us a case of Red Bull, 24 cans, and we had to barter with people. Oh, can you drive me to the train station? I'll give you 2 Red Bull. Kind of like that.
Whoa, that's crazy, man. Well, Red Bull's a good drink. I like it. So I'd probably be willing to do all kinds of things for Red Bull. So do you feel as if vlogging the trips helps you appreciate them more somehow, or do you think it detracts from the experience?
Oh, no, it definitely makes you appreciate it more. Just because you can look back at the experience after and be like, oh, my God, that happened. Like,
yeah, you know that they say if you didn't film it, it didn't happen. So don't get me wrong. We definitely make sure to take time to kind of set aside the camera and just really be in the moment and just love and appreciate what we're doing and where we are. But filming it and being able to share that experience, what that means for us with other people, is incredible.
Cool. And Cassie ends up editing most of the videos that are on your channel that are not the Cookie Muncher stuff. Like, I know you're vlogging a lot of stuff and showing the Cookie Muncher journey, but there's also other types of stuff where you're going to random places, right? And it's just more like a vacation vlog. Is that mostly Cassie's editing?
Well, I've done, let me see. I've done, I think, six of the videos. And it's just whenever I kind of decide, let me hop on and do this one. I also did the main video for the Kickstarter campaign. Anything that's really kind of thought out and planned shots and the planned script is usually me.
I'm more like the quick banging out.
She's much faster at it than I am. But if you watch a video, the ones that are like cut like to an OCD level of like, oh, he listened really, really hard for this, those is usually me. Okay.
How important do you think, and both of y'all can answer this question, how important is it to live a balanced lifestyle?
Oh, so important. We often have to remind each other of that with how much we work, especially when Cookie Munchers is happening. Literally at the end of the night around 4:35 a.m. when we get home, we're like, we're not going to bed yet. We need 1 hour to just
hang out and just de-stress from the day. That's assuming we have the energy to do that. There have been multiple nights where we've gotten home and collapsed onto the bed with our shoes still on and just passed out and woke up the next morning and just hopped right back to it. But when we can, we try to take like an hour at least to just relax, watch some TV, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like every entrepreneur story begins with something like this. You know, it begins with massive amounts of sacrifice and just being tired and all this and just working at something, you know, the whole time. So that's pretty cool.
And nobody will
I think you might have cut out a little bit. What'd you say, Brandon? You cut out a tiny bit.
I'm sorry. I was saying most people, unless they're doing it and they're living it, they don't see that. They don't see the amount of work that goes into it. So going back to what our employees said, oh, you guys must have so much time off. You don't. But if you love it and you believe in what you're doing, you're willing to make those sacrifices and put the work in.
Right, exactly. Even with the cookie build going down, do you have time to work out? I mean, you guys seem like fit individuals. Do you guys go to the gym and work out?
So we love biking for
Yeah.
sure. Bike riding is a big part of what we do.
A lot of biking, a lot of hiking. I was a lifeguard for 7 years, and I taught swim lessons as well. So I like to swim a lot, do that. And I used to do, in freshman and sophomore year of college, I did the DVD workouts, Insanity, and the tap out workouts. It's like an MMA style fighting. And I'm planning on getting back into those within the next couple of weeks or so.
Okay, cool. So you definitely like biking, you like hiking. Do you bike every day, or try to get to biking every day, or at least once a week or so?
Oh, definitely more than once a week. We bring them with us anywhere we go.
Man, this RAV4 has like too much stuff in it, man. And now you're painting a picture like the RAV4 is just jammed to the top with like everything. What exactly? Let me ask you this: when you take the bikes, are they on the back on a rack, or are they in the car itself? Oh, I think they might have actually stopped again. So give me 1 second. We'll get them right back on for the last round of questions. Let me message them one more time. And this is the last round. So if their internet isn't good, there's only like 2 more questions left. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, back for more. Yeah, I think we got. There's only 2 more questions, so I think we should be good.
Okay.
So, but you said you were biking and hiking at least multiple times a week, something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, we have a bike rack that is permanently attached to the back of my car, and we basically keep the bikes on there at all times so that we can just use them.
Okay, cool. And then if it came down to 3 tips, give the watchers 3 tips for living a really good life. Like, what would those 3 tips be? All right, I think they're having an issue again. Last time, we're going to see if we can get them for this last question. Give me 1 second. All right, we're going to get them one last question out. The last question. You guys, it's all good. No, I understand. It's all good. Give the watchers 3 tips for living a great life. If it came down to 3 tips, what would you say those are?
Number 1 is travel. It's what changed my life and made me realize that anything I want to do is possible, because you realize how much else is out there.
Number 2, definitely set goals. Know what you want to do. Usually I set a goal for up to 5 years in advance, a year in advance, and I know and we just keep working toward it. And I think that's really helped us stay on track.
And number 3 is take risks. Life is too short to play it safe and be boring. Take risks and push yourself. Really, that's all I can say.
Cool. Well, that pretty much does a show. I like those 3 tips. Those are really, really good 3 tips. That's a good. I'm glad we stuck around for the end of the show with all the issues and everything. With those 3 tips were like such a banger of 3 tips. Like, I love that, because it really comes down to like exactly what you guys are doing, right? It's one thing to say 3 tips and you guys aren't doing them, or you ever meet those people that like say something that sounds cool but they're not doing it at all.
Yeah.
You guys, like, those 3 tips like really are the essence of you too. So their channel is the first link down below, guys and gals. Check it out. The second link down below is their Instagram. Go check that out as well. Please go subscribe to their channel and watch the Cookie Munchers journey evolve. And when this thing becomes a storefront and they open in October, I want to figure out what all the pitfalls and all the crazy stuff. I'm gonna get them back on the show. So guys, thanks a lot for being on my show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do it again. I so want to follow this journey because it's so neat and it's very.
Yeah, we'll be back with better Wi-Fi.
It's very funky, but it's like, it's so right. Like, you know, like cookies are just, if there's no dessert options in your town, you guys are gonna go and capitalize on that. That's huge. That's a huge thing. And something with as simple as a cookie. You're not building a cake or anything crazy. It's a cookie. You know. Yeah. So thanks for coming around. Thanks for being here. You guys go check them out. The first 2 links down below. And we'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler broadcast. Take it easy. Goodbye.